Hey y'all, today we're going to be planting some seeds, and I have some strawberry plants somebody gifted me. So we're going to put those into bigger pots and return the grow bags that they are currently in. So let's get this done. These are a June bearing strawberries, so they will not produce this year, but hopefully I can overwinter them and get some of these suckers off to start some new plants. And next year we should have a really good harvest. I think I have 15 plants plus lots of babies. So all I'm doing is putting them in these big mineral tubs. I've got my Pro Mix soil already in there, and I actually have some compost in these pots also. So as that breaks down, it should feed the plants. But yeah, we'll just fill that in. I've got 3 more bags like this full of strawberries. I have overwintered strawberries before, but it's been a couple years. And of course I lost most everything last year, so I tried to get my hands on some strawberries this year and never could get them at the right time and get them planted, and so this was an answer to prayer, because I love homegrown strawberries and I will not eat them out of the store. So I've got our seeds ready to plant also today. I still have time to plant summer squash, and we're going to do that here in just a minute. I think I kind of overstuffed those containers, but they'll be okay. And I can always separate more later. I went through my lists and got a bunch of seeds out ready to go. So here are the seeds that we picked out. Go over here, and we're gonna go over here and start planting. I wanna see what I have available that we can plant now. So these are just things I've been stashing in this container here that I would like to be able to get a crop this year. This yarrow, for instance, I had it growing really well and the grasshoppers took it out, so I might try that again. I have some spaghetti squash here. I'm going to try that again. Basil large leaf is a really good one. Black-eyed peas I'm going to have to replant, so we're going to put those there. Got a couple beans in this one, so I think we'll work on those. Pole beans I'm done with for this year. And these are our pink eye purple whole peas, so we'll put that in with these. and get those planted. It looks like the insect netting had shifted in the garden, and the grasshoppers got under and ate most of my southern peas. Some dill. I would like to see if I can get some more dill up. Those I'm not going to replant. This box over here is just to be put back into my seed containers. Right now we're not pulling any, we're not going to pull any seeds that I need for fall planting, because that will not happen until after August 3rd. So this is just stuff that I'm going to try to get sown in the next week. This week I'm actually working my regular job, and next week I will be home without a car, so I should be able to get a lot of work done in the garden early in the morning. So that's all of that. Let's see what else we have. Beets, that's one thing I was going to put in. Golden beets. No more cucumbers. Hibiscus, it's a little too late to sow hibiscus, so we're going to put that in the file. Here's another box of cow peas. I have a lot of southern peas, so I'm just going to plant those like crazy, because that's something that I can or I can dry. And here are some more beets, red beets. It wouldn't hurt me to get those in. Collards, we'll have to wait a few weeks on those because they don't really like it very hot, and I don't want them just to go to seed as soon as I put them in the ground. And those beans, we're not going to plant. Here's some seeds that I've saved from when I was over at Lubbock, and these are carrot seeds. I don't know what kind of carrot seeds, other than that they are orange. So that would be a good thing to get in the ground. I do want to plant some more calendula because all mine got eaten up with something. So I think we'll do this. This came from a friend of mine in Oklahoma. So we'll do those. And then let's see what this is. These are all my sunflowers. I'm not going to plant any more sunflowers because the grasshoppers eat them as fast as they can, and then they don't have a chance to go to make seed. So that's pretty frustrating. And when they're 5-6 foot tall, it's just impossible right now for me to keep them covered. So here's some patty pan squash. I'm going to plant a couple of those. And I'm not going to bother with zinnias anymore this year because the grasshoppers ate them all. Chamomile, we're going to try that again. And I have a lemon squash. It's really a nice little squash, and I did get a few of those this spring before the squash bugs took them out. But I would like to see if I can get some more. I'm going to plant them in a different spot. We'll see. And this is all of my different winter squash. And the only one I'm interested in is spaghetti and honey nut. So this is a brand new package of honey nut squash. So hopefully we can get, and I even have a label for it. Hopefully I can get one of those to make squash for me before the first frost. It says it's 100 days, and that's just, we have barely enough time to do that. I wanted to plant some pumpkins, but I just don't really have space in this little garden. And if I put them outside the garden, I don't know that the grasshoppers are gonna stay away from them or not. I don't know. I don't remember growing pumpkins in this area with these grasshoppers. They're just absolutely ridiculous. So this is what we have so far. And I was going to look for, oh no, here it is, my red okra. I want to put a few more of those in around the garden because the grasshoppers don't bother them, and even from baby seedlings, they don't touch them. So we're going to just poke in a few here and a few there where I don't have to worry about covering them, and that would be great. Oh, here's some Clemson spineless okra, so we'll put those in. Grasshoppers don't bother them. And that is a mesquite bean. We're not planting that. So there you go. We have a few things that we're going to plant in the garden, and we'll go get ready with that. Alrighty, we are in the garden planting some gold beets. I have not been successful planting these yet, so I am looking forward to seeing what we can do with these this year. They are from one of my favorite seed companies, Botanical Interest. They have great germination rates, and it looks like about an 85 to 90 day to maturity date, so that will be in plenty of time before a heavy freeze. I am planning on possibly covering this entire garden area with a plastic so that I can overwinter many of my crops with just some protection from the cold and the wind. I don't know that I'll be able to heat it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. This awning frame I had put in the garden in the spring to cover the entire garden with insect netting, but with some high winds we had in the spring, it did not work. So that was very disappointing. Right now I am probably pulling out a lot of grass and vine from the cucumbers because they like to encroach on everything. Richard is enjoying this day, and he's getting a little more friendly with me. I don't scare him every time I walk in the garden or talk to him. So it's been really nice to walk in the garden and he just does his thing. And he doesn't move around a lot, probably because he only has one leg. And so he's pretty content just to sit and soak in the sunshine. If I turn the sprinkler on, he will always get over into the sprinkler for about 20 or 30 minutes and really enjoy taking a shower. So I'm just planting in different spots that are empty right now. That looks like my dill from M.I. Gardener. M.I. Gardener's having a sale right now through September 1st or 2nd, 40% off, which is significant savings. So I did put in a little order for my fall plantings because I have no cauliflower, broccoli, or cabbage on hand to plant. So I had to get some of that in here. I'm putting the dill in my tomato cage. It's the only tomato that I have actually caged and covered with insect netting. All the rest are kind of on their own, flopping out of the pots, climbing up the fence, leaning on the fences, whatever. But this one is my porter that I like to save seed from. And I've been doing that since 2012. So, and I get really good, production from those all summer. As I've said before, I don't eat tomatoes, but I do enjoy giving them away. So I planted some dill in there, and hopefully we'll get a little crop before it turns cold. I do dry my dill, and it's one of the things I use in my herb blends. So before Christmas, I'll take all the herbs that I've grown and dried, and I will blend those together with salt and make different concoctions, if you will. I like to do a rosemary dill lemon salt for fish and chicken. I also do a mix blend of all the herbs, which is really great on meat. I use those for Christmas gifts for the children. And that is a radish, lady slipper radish. I don't eat a lot of radishes, but I do like to roast them, like a fellow YouTuber got a lot of us hooked on roasted radish. And I do love radishes pickled, refrigerator pickles. I found a recipe years ago, and it was really good. And it was good on burgers, sandwiches, just anything you would put a pickle on. It was great. That particular pot that I'm planting in has a potato that grew out of the compost that I had composted in the bottom of the pot. And not sure if it's going to produce potatoes, but that's the only thing in there, so we can fill it in with something else. Those are lemon squash. That particular company I ordered from, they don't put anything on the package. Date to maturity. It's just a generic package. But I do believe the lemon squash is about 60 to 75 day germination. So hopefully we'll get a couple more than we did in the spring. I had zero luck with zucchini and patty pan squash. I think I got 2 or 3. Lemon squash, I got 2 or 3. Yellow crookneck never came up. I'm going to have to test the germination on those seeds to make sure they're still viable, because a lot of my seeds I've had since 2012, and some of them may just not be viable anymore. I do keep a very detailed list of all the seeds that I have, the year that I bought them, and the quantities, and I update that usually in the winter when it's kind of a downtime for gardening, but I keep it on Google Sheets, and it's really handy. In fact, I just printed one out so that I can mark out seeds as I use them all up. Like today I used all the beets and the rest of my filet beans and all of my red okra. So those can go into the inventory, and then I know that I need to reorder those for next year. So it looks like I am filling up Richard's pool. I try to every day. Every day I freshen his water, but I don't always put him in it every day. I do know that he finds it by himself, but I like to show it to him to make sure he understands where his little pool is, and he can get in and out by himself. So, and he does love to swim. So here I'm just planting some carrots. These were seeds that I saved in 2017, so it will be interesting to see if I get any germination out of those. I will be planting another type of carrot seed soon. This was just a little dab. I thought I would go ahead and get rid of it
and see what I can get up. I've been trying to use all of my seeds that are older than 2020. And that is a monumental task because I have always saved seeds from the first pumpkin that sprouted in my driveway that we had thrown away into the yard actually, and it sprouted and grew 7 or 8 sugar pie pumpkins the next year. So I have always just thought, what a waste to just throw those seeds away. So whether it was from food from the grocery store, organic of course, or my own garden, I saved the seeds. And those filet beans, used all of those. There was 3 left in the package somehow, and thought, well, why not get rid of those. My red okra, we're planting a little bit here, there, and everywhere. The grasshoppers don't seem really fond of okra until they have completely decimated everything else on the property. Then they will come after cucumbers and okra and possibly even squash. But it's not their favorite, so. There's a little glimpse of Richard taking his bath. This pot I'm really happy with. We've been able to keep it covered, and I've got noodle beans and a big basil and lots of little basil coming up in the bottom. I'm just really happy with it. This is some sage that's coming back from the grasshoppers. There's my 4 o'clocks and a blackberry that I jerked up earlier while I was trying to plant something else. I was pulling grass, and hopefully that'll reroot. And then of course my roselle. I'm just tying back my sunflowers because they are leaning hard in front of my gate, and it's kind of a pain to try and get in and out of the garden. And it really aggravates the bumblebees. They do not like it when I jerk that plant out of their way. So this will keep me from getting stung, and where I can get in and out of the garden. That gate needs a little work, but it keeps Richard safe right now, so that's what it's there for. I've covered it with chicken wire, and so the dog can't get in there, and there she goes sniffing around. She loves to be in the garden. I think we're going to pick all the cucumbers so that I can get them pickled. And I tried canning them. Wasn't really fond of the texture, but my daughter and son-in-law liked them. Look at that grasshopper. Get out of here. And so I'm going to try some refrigerator pickles and see how I like them. They are super crunchy, fresh, but as you can see, this is more than one person can eat, and I've given them away. And like I said, I canned a bunch. The flavor's great, but the texture's just a little off, and I don't like using any kind of chemicals. I was going to get some grape leaves, and well, that was slippery. See this one? This is not a true cucamelon. This is a creeping cucumber, and when they get dark like this and they're a little bit smushy, they are not good to eat, but they're good to save the seed. So in case I move and don't have access to these vines, then I will have seed for years to come. And it doesn't matter the size. See this? It is, well, hold still. It is dark green and not edible, even though it's very small. So we don't eat those. We just save the seed from them. Actually, I save the seed from the bigger ones. I don't really care for the saving the small seeds because that might just perpetuate small fruits. We don't want to do that. We want them a little bit bigger. So there's that. That's one little section, about 3 foot. Even if I didn't get fruit, I think I would like to leave these vines because they're so pretty. They make a nice backdrop for videos, and they're very easily pulled up. So it's going to be a nice day here. It's about 80 degrees right now. I believe it's headed for about 90 something. So after I get these picked, I will be in the house for the rest of the day. Going to make some breakfast and log my plantings in my journal. And yeah. See, I go one direction, and then when I come back, I'm like, oh, I missed that one and that one. They're very hard to see, and especially when they get super thick like this. And usually I pick both sides of the fence because what I don't see on this side, sometimes I can see on the other side. Half pint jar. All right, y'all. Well, I believe that's all the planting I'm going to do today. It's getting warm. We got a few things done. And what seeds are you sowing today? And where are you located? I'd be interested to know what zone you're in and what you can plant right now. Have a great day.